Hey everybody, welcome to the Saturday Chat.
Saturday Chat.
Yeah.
So, we're in Memphis this week.
We are in Memphis this week. Exciting times.
Even though somehow we're also here.
We are time travelers and space travelers.
We are travelers of both time and space to be where I have been.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So our song tomorrow.
It's
called Luka.
Luka by Suzanne Vega.
Is it Suzanne or Susan? I thought it was Susan Vega.
Susan.
Yeah.
We're already at
odds. Miss Vega
odds this week.
Miss Vega. So the song was released in 1987, last century.
Yeah. So weirdly, I remember the song from when I was a kid.
I do too.
And I was trying to, like, as we were performing it or getting ready to perform it, I was thinking about how I felt when I heard it, and it made me feel uneasy. I remember feeling very uneasy hearing it, and almost like I was hearing something I shouldn't. I wasn't quite a teenager yet, and I felt equivalent to the same feeling, trying to place it in my mind in hindsight.
Yeah.
As when you got to see a movie that you weren't supposed to.
Oh.
Or like an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like this is tough subject matter. I don't know if I should be hearing this.
It's beyond your pay grade.
I still knew what it was
as a child.
About. Well, even then I got it wrong because I always thought the song was about spousal abuse. Like I
did too.
I'd always viewed it as spousal abuse.
Yes.
And then several years back, I'd heard that it was about child abuse.
It is.
And then I forgot it again. Like when we started preparing to play it this week, and I listened to it a couple times, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this song about spousal abuse." And then, I just happened to look up like to make sure I got the spelling and everything, and I saw some stuff online, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. This isn't." Although it applies, I think it is lyrically, I think it's applicable.
It is applicable. I always viewed it as, and I don't know if I had seen like a music video of it, because I did watch Miss Vega's music video of it, and it's nothing like something I remember. I don't know if it was my own storytelling in my own head, because that's a thing, but I had a visual representation in my head where it was in an apartment complex, and there were elevators, and they had like the Luka person was coming out of the elevator and was greeting somebody, I think with a dog or something. I don't know. Maybe if I made this up
with another video.
I don't know, but it was like
if somebody knows what the dog video is, they're gonna have to leave.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know what the heck I was thinking of. Anyway, I always thought it was like the nosy neighbor sort of inquiring, "Hey, are you?" And the other person's, it's a one-sided conversation. The song is. And it's like, yeah, just don't ask. We're not gonna talk about it. Thank you. Yes, you have seen me around, and yes, I do live above you. And you know what? If you hear anything, it's just me. I'm just clumsy. I walked into the door again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I thought it was a more adult in context, because those seem like really adult excuses.
Yeah, they're
like I walked into the door. Doesn't seem like something a child might say. I guess they could be coached.
Well, I think a child would say that.
Yeah. But at the time, I was thinking that was a more adult excuse, I guess. I don't know.
I think that it tends to be, I think maybe what happens is we think of adult subject matter, so we tend to think of it as adult themes.
Right.
And we forget that there are like lowlifes in this world that will abuse kids.
Right. Well, so we are highlighting October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So there's a lot of great things going on in October that we're all excited about. Chief among them me for pumpkin spice things and pumpkin bread and pumpkin-y things. There's a reason they're basic, because they're good.
Basic white girl.
Basic. So, you know what? I don't care about the titles. They're good. They're good. I enjoy them. And for the people who are like, forget pumpkin, apple. Also apple. Yeah. Apple spice things. Let's go. So there's a lot to be grateful about for fall. You got spooky
namely,
season for
Hello
those.
October season.
Hello October. Our song is just
if you've been following along
skyrocketing.
on Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook, it's been trending on Instagram to the tune of 120,000 reels or so.
It's fantastic. We're very excited.
Millions of plays on there, and it's starting to roll over onto Spotify and other things. So make sure you add it to your fall playlist for sure.
Yeah. Also, if you
Hang with us, invite
are
your friends.
if you are doing like a fall photo dump or showing your fall fits, or you're looking for an audio for your fall videos, use Hello October, please. It helps boost us to a wider audience,
and it also helps boost you because it's already trending.
So
good stuff.
However, all that being said, there's a lot to be excited about, but we do want to take that moment to create space in the conversation for this uncomfortable subject matter because it is vitally important. Domestic violence is a huge issue, and a lot of people don't even realize that they are in a domestic violence situation until they feel trapped and unable to get out. So
now I ask because I don't know, and I want to be more enlightened. But do you know?
I may not know.
Do you know if I know this? Like we tend to think of domestic violence as spousal abuse,
Yes,
or significant other
Yes.
abuse. However, domestic means at home, like at home
Correct.
abuse. So it would also apply to the song, would it not?
So I was looking into
Like
it more. I do feel
child
like
abuse.
the powers that be actually differentiate between child abuse and domestic violence. And I think that the charges are different if the charges are brought.
Well, I know there's
However,
such thing as spousal abuse, and there's
yes.
domestic violence, and then there's probably child abuse.
I think
Maybe
it's a
there's-
larger umbrella, domestic violence. So I would class child abuse, but I believe
Maybe
that
that's the wider net.
the thing is though with child abuse that can be further out than the domestic realm. So it could be child abuse could happen in a school setting or in a religious setting or something like, or any kind of setting that child's in that's not necessarily domestic. So I think that's why there's a differentiation. But some of the sites that I looked at, they did talk about the effects of domestic violence, talking about the parental units on the children and how just seeing that can affect the well-being of the child, even though they may not be the ones being physically or verbally or sexually abused. They are being within the realm of that does affect their ability to function. So a couple of resources for you. All you have to do, just Google domestic violence hotline. There are people there to help you. If you are experiencing domestic violence, please give yourself a lot of grace, because if you decide to leave, that is the most dangerous time for somebody who is a victim. Have a strong plan in place. Also, there's a lot of lovely people out in the world that will help care for animals. That's a huge thing that I hadn't thought of. I've not experienced personally domestic violence or child abuse. That's not something that I've had in my life. I do listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and whatnot, so I do know that there are places out there, shelters, that will help with your animals, because that is a tactic that some abusers will use. If you leave, they will threaten you through your animals, things that you love that have been there for you. So, I just didn't even think about that, and it blew my mind that a lot of the shelters only house women, sometimes children, and it is not gender specific. There can be domestic violence toward men. So let's just not get stuck on that this is just for women, this is just for children. Men can be domestically abused just as heinously as women can by women in some cases. So be careful not to pigeonhole people.
Sure.
Also, if you're taking stock of your life and you recognize that perhaps you are an abuser, there is hope. There is help. I have heard stories of people who have taken recognition of what they've been doing and taken responsibility for their actions and their words, and they have completely changed their life and the course of their loved ones' lives. So let me just encourage you, if you're taking stock and you think that perhaps you're an abuser, the hardest thing is asking for help. You're going to have to be strong and ask for the help of a professional to break cycles.
And make sure it's a professional, not your significant other.
Also, not Facebook.
Yes.
These are not professionals. These are people that are well-intentioned, but just don't know all the things. We don't know all the things. That's why we're guiding you to the hotline. We're guiding you to seek therapy, and just know that there's hope. As an abuser or as an abused person, it's not over. Just keep on trucking. We're rooting for you. Folks are making art and writing songs about it. So we're just shining a light on some of the stuff, this uncomfortable subject matter, and letting you know might not like see you, but we see you. And also, abuse comes in a lot of forms. You don't have to have a bruise.
And for sure, I think we should touch base and say that, if you are the abused person, that you don't need to stay in that situation.
Nope.
Like, even if the abuser, it's very common that the abuser would be very apologetic and
super common.
say, "Oh, I'll never do it again. I'll never do this again," or like, "I'm going to get help." Don't trust that. Like, get help from apart.
Yeah, once is enough.
Be apart.
Once
be
is
apart. Like
one
the
infraction.
abuser can fix themselves on their own. You don't need to be.
Yes, one infraction on your body, on your emotional well-being, on your sexual health. One infraction is enough for you to go and say, "You get help alone. I'll be over here if you want to continue with the relationship once you've healed up and you're not hurting me anymore." Because your value is not wrapped up in the other person, right? Though you might care for them. Abuse, it has deep roots. It comes from somewhere, and it has to be addressed from within that person. And you, if they're lashing out at you, it's not your job to save them.
I'm just sitting here and I was thinking, it's not so often that a song has such serious subject matter.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I have a hard time thinking of off the top of my head. So. Yeah,
it's really serious. And, like I said, I haven't experienced that myself, but I know people who have. Mm-hmm. And I know how devastating it is. And Absolutely. I know the children of abuse. And I know Luka's. And it is devastating. So that's part of the reason we want to shine the light on it. Sure. It happens. The thing is, it happens behind closed doors, and we don't talk about it.
True enough. And I think that we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow with the song Luka. And is it Suzanne or Susan?
I don't know. Suzanne.
And can you think of another uncomfortable subject that has been represented through music? Is there something else that we need to be shining a light on?
Let us know.
More uncomfortable conversation coming right up.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Hey friends, Ashley of SugarLimeBlue here. I wanted to draw your attention to something we've started doing on our Facebook. We've been featuring one of our special SugarLimeBlue tie-dye t-shirts weekly. Here's an example of one of them. You guys seem to be enjoying this, so we're going to keep it up for a little while. So make sure you're looking for us on Facebook with our special weekly SugarLimeBlue tie-dye t-shirts.